Hi, this is Centre Right Shield with my friends Centre Right Federation and Soldier of Seven, and
Yep.
we're
Hi.
going to yeah, and we're going to be discussing did the Native Americans truly come from this land?
Well, I'm sorry. As many times people will call us racist and stuff and try to people correct the problem many Native American anybody could be considered a Native American. Anyone could be considered a Native American. A white person, a black person. If you are native to this
Yeah,
land, so technically there's no such thing as like a Native American. So let me just get down to this. Many people
Mike's
Marxist
lagging.
people on the left like to tell you over the head with white guilt for that and stuff like that. But the problem with that argument is that, well, Soldier 7 said it way before the live stream even started. What did you say?
I said, well, why doesn't the left ever talk about the Native American tribes killing each other long before the Europeans came? Even after they came, some were still killing each other and taking each other's land, but yet they have nothing to say about that.
Exactly. Most of our land was also bought as well. Um, I think Center Right Shield will also be giving you a link below the description where it talks about how many of the indigenous peoples that resided here prior to the Europeans all came here like through a bridge through the I forget what the name of the bridge is called. I think I might know what it's called, but I just can't pronounce it.
And
oh,
talk
Hold
about
up.
the
I think it's like
sorry. From
the
Asia,
Pangea Bridge.
there was
isn't it?
through
And
Alaska.
they all came from Asia.
You're talking about the Siberian Alaskan bridge that used to exist?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and many of
Yeah.
them came from Asia.
Yeah, some people believe they come from Siberian tribes.
Yep, exactly. And plus, there's also evidence that shows that I will also be linking this below the description, where it shows that like many Europeans came here way before during like during the Stone Age. So that's way before any of these indigenous people from Asia arrived here. Does anyone else
Yeah.
have anything to add?
Not really. I mean, like, I think I made my point. And the only other point I guess I could make is what about the Native Americans who worked with the Europeans? For example, like some Native American tribes didn't fight with the Europeans. Some of them actually worked together. And the funny thing is, some Native Americans fought in the Continental Army
That's true.
Yeah.
during the Revolution. And it's funny because Native Americans actually picked sides during the War of 1812. Some even fought with the native, I meant, well, sorry, some fought with the British alongside the British, and some fought alongside the United States. So you can't say that we just, like, they were just all attempted to get wiped out, because some of them were working with the Europeans and the United States.
Exactly. Plus, you can't really call this a genocide. Like you could probably like of course many of them were killed and that's tragic.
Oh,
But the
yeah, no
thing
doubt
is,
about
if
that.
if you look at the definition of the word genocide, it's the intention to wipe out a specific group of people, like the deliberate killing of a large group of people. But the thing is, that wasn't deliberate. That wasn't. It was the Europeans only came here for like a short time, only to get some resources. I think many of them came here for like gold or something.
Probably.
And then there's the is it the Knights Templar that was meant to have moved the Holy Grail to America.
Yeah, exactly. And their intention, I think, was to go to India. Well, actually, I think that was just the Spaniards, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So many of
Yeah.
them went to like like saw the Americas after being in those ships for a long time, and they were all looking for their resources. But eventually, it got to the point that the Native Americans saw them there way too long, and then eventually started to attack the Europeans, and then the Europeans fought back, and then they made treaties and stuff, made deals, and said, you know what? If the Europeans said, if we win, this land is ours. If the Native Americans win, then then they keep the land. But the Europeans won, and I'm gonna offend the white nationalists, the white supremacists, and guess what? I don't give a fuck. But the Native Americans did not lose the war because they were inferior. They lost the war because their weapons were inferior. Their weapons were.
And their battle tactics were not as effective. Either they were, we just learned, or the Europeans and the colonialists just learned to adapt. Like, if you go look by a guy by the name of Robert Rogers, which was like one of the very first U.S. Army Rangers to ever exist, he adapted Native American tactics when they were fighting the native tribes, enemy tribes.
Exactly. And
so, like,
go ahead.
Sorry. No, I was just gonna say. No, I was just gonna say. It seems like whatever. Every time they tried something like the Europeans or the U.S. cavalry or whatever time it was, it seems like the people like the colonialists and the U.S. Army, they would always adapt to the tactics that the Native Americans that they fought used. They would adapt to the tactics and learn them. Because, like I just said, Robert Rogers formed Rogers Rangers.
Yeah, exactly. And plus, many of the Europeans, we all know that they had guns, they had everything.
Yeah.
And plus, many Native Americans used the Europeans against other tribes as well.
Yeah. That's why some tribes actually agreed to side with the colonialists and the Americans and the British, whatever.
Exactly.
I mean, like some Native Americans taught the Europeans how to grow crops and everything like that, and it was kind of like, here's the deal, here's the deal, white people, we'll teach you how to like grow corn and shit, and in return you have to kill an enemy tribe of ours.
Yep.
Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, like, I'm not denying the fact that there was mistreatment and mass killings of Native Americans. Don't get me wrong, but don't sit here and expect me to believe that the whites are 100% guilty.
Yeah, exactly. Both sides, when it comes down to it, they're both guilty.
Yeah, and plus, Native Americans killed colonialists, wiped out colonialist villages and stuff like that too.
And what the Center-Right Shield also brought up, which was pretty interesting, was how many of them were starving prior to the Europeans' arrival. Many of them were starving to death.
Yeah, I just don't understand how I can say stuff like this, and yet you're going to have leftists come on here and say, I'm a racist, I'm a white supremacist, or something like that, despite the fact that I'm half red. Then they'll probably just say, oh, I'm a sellout.
Hey guys, before this live stream ends, do you think I could do something?
Whatever, it's your stream.
Well, this is actually Center-Right Shield stream, but...
Well, it's his stream, whatever.
The white devils, the time has come to erode the border of Europe and exterminate the white race once and for all.
85 years old.
Yep.
Yeah. This has been Centre-Right Shield, Soldier of 7, and the Centre-Right Federation signing off.
Alright, see ya, everyone.
Yeah. Remember, capitalist bacon is better than communist bacon.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck communism.
Death to leftism.